everyone, Cody with Extreme Outfitters today, here to talk about some arrow shafts. We're going to go over a 6.5mm, a 5mm, and the 4mm design, and the pros and cons of each of them. We'll start out with the thickest being the 6.5. Not the best arrow to shoot in windy conditions. Typically your whitetail guys are hunting with these arrows. This one is the 6.5 Matrix from Easton. It's a pretty popular shaft right now because of the insert system it has, a little bit beefier. Working our way down, we have a 5mm design. Typically every arrow company offers a 5mm and a 6.5. This one just happens to be a gold tip airstrike. One of my favorites as far as the insert systems out on the market. And then you have their factory full fletch, which is nice. It makes it a little bit decent, a better forgiving setup, I should say. And these fly a little bit better in the wind. You have less extrusion for the wind to sway your arrow left or right, or and these are a little bit easier to tune than I would say a 4mm shaft, which we'll go into next. But they tune just as well as a 6.5mm shaft, in my opinion. Working our way down, we have the Easton 4mm Axis long range for a 4mm shaft we have today. This one has a really good insert system. It's a 50 grain half out. The thing with 4mm are these are used heavily by a lot of FITA archers, target archers that are shooting 50+ meters. A lot of guys at Redding, they want to run a 166 or a 4mm arrow design just for wind forgiveness. Simply that. The wind does not sway this arrow nearly as much. And the nice thing about the 4mm arrow is it actually penetrates better than the 5mm and the 6mm and the 6.5mm shaft. So a lot of your guys that are hunting big game, hunting out west, they're going to have a better trajectory with a 4mm arrow or a 5mm arrow than they are a 6mm arrow. Now in today's market we have arrows that are made not only from carbon, but they have other materials made in them as well. The FMJ has the full metal jacket around it with a carbon core. Beautiful thing about it is super easy to pull out of targets, and it actually goes through a target a little bit deeper as well, just because there's less friction than what there would be on carbon. Downside is if you've been an FMJ, you can't straighten it or reuse it, so you kind of got to trash it, and they are a little bit pricey for as far as what you're getting if you do bend it. Unlike carbon, it can go back to its straightness in a sense. Working our way over, this is probably one of my most popular and probably my favorite shaft out right now. This is a VAP SS. If you look in the center, it has a stainless steel core on the inside of it, and it's a competitor to an FMJ in the sense of durability as far as hard hitting arrow. Being it's in a 4mm design, that's another plus in my opinion. I will tell you and keep in mind 4mm shafts are harder to tune. They're not really hard to tune, they're just a little bit less forgiving in a sense from a 6.5 or a 5mm shaft. Other than that, guys, come check them out, extremeoutfitters.com. We'll see you soon.